Workplace health, safety, and welfare. Topics to be covered in this module: ergonomics and human factors, seating at work, shift work and fatigue, health surveillance, work-related stress, drugs and alcohol, violence at work. Ergonomics and human factors. Many people associate health and safety management with vigorous movement and open spaces. But along with warehouse workers and construction site employees, those who work in administration and office jobs still need to be considered when reviewing risks and injuries in the workplace. This primarily has to do with ergonomics and the need to prevent physical conditions caused by bad examples of it. In basic terms, ergonomics is the collective study of how people work in their environment for extended periods. It also covers the science of designing and arranging things in the workplace so that employees can work efficiently and in comfort. Most directly, this would apply to an office space where a worker has his seating and workstation set up to prevent bad posture or cramping. When workplace ergonomics are poor, it can lead to employees to suffer from repetitive strain injury, RSI, upper limb disorder, ULD, musculoskeletal disorder, MSD, severe stress levels, acute visual discomfort. Seating at work. As a large proportion of jobs require people to be seated at a workstation or office space, the importance of employee seating in a correct posture is a crucial part of the role. Employers have the legal requirement to provide adequate seating arrangements, ensure that it is safe and does not pose a health risk to employees. Employees also must alert employers to any specific needs or faults for themselves or others. As an employer, you should perform assessments on seating in the same way you would do for any other form of a potential hazard. When doing so, you should consider these guidelines. Check to see if employees need training to operate any functions on the seat. Ensure that seating is adaptable enough to suit all your employees. Ensure that backrests do not force bad postures. Audit the need for any seating for those with special needs. Ensure that the form of seating matches the requirements for the workstations and environments, armrests, swivel, etc. Review the seating regularly to ensure it remains in good condition. Encourage staff to take breaks from remaining seated for long interrupted periods. Shift work and fatigue. While a large majority of the workforce still recognizes a 9-to-5 timetable, numerous businesses and services are reliant on staff working throughout the night and at anti-social hours. This can bring its own set of health and safety problems. Because of changing work patterns, the internal body clock is disrupted and can cause sleeping difficulties, mood swings, and fatigue. Fatigue is a condition that can originate from long working hours and refers to a severe drop in an employee's mental and physical performance. This has been the source of several serious industrial accidents over the years and should be assessed like any other risk. An employer is legally obliged to work with employees to prevent the symptoms of fatigue, and you must act accordingly if staff complain of the condition. To assess the effects of shift work, you must consider the following factors: the overall workload, the intensity of the work, the hours worked in any one shift, breaks made available during a shift, rest periods between shift team changes. You can learn more about fatigue on the HSE site. Health surveillance. Health surveillance is a preventative method of managing health and safety. If your workforce is exposed to certain conditions, constant loud noise, dust particles, etc., It is also a practice that is legally required to be performed regularly. The surveillance will be an ongoing series of health checks performed by a medical professional. The purpose of these will be to detect symptoms of ill health at an early stage so treatment can prevent worsening conditions, allow employees to raise concerns about their well-being, provide employers with ongoing health statistics of their staff, highlight any health and safety measures that may have been missed from a risk assessment, allow employees a chance to train and be educated about health and safety protocols. However, health surveillance should only be employed as a legal requirement when the environment shows a clear and present risk to well-being. Work-related stress. Stress is now recognized by the healthcare system and business sectors as a significant contributor to illnesses and lost working days. It occurs when an individual finds it hard to cope with a heavy workload or amount of responsibility that they have been assigned. It can easily lead to absences, long-term sickness, and debilitating conditions. As an employer, you have the responsibility to monitor your workforce and ensure this does not affect your staff's well-being. The main factors to consider when dealing with stress are: tasks. Is an employee's workload realistic? Is it pushing them too hard or just boring them? Relationships. Is an employee being belittled or bullied by a senior member of the team? Are they having personal relationship issues that affect their work? Role. Does an employee feel confused by their responsibilities or objectives? Do they feel that they may lose their job? Environment. Is an employee distracted by intense lighting, constant noise, people traffic, etc.? Like any other risk, an assessment of the well-being of an employee subjected to stress should be undertaken. More advice can be found on the HSE site. Drugs and alcohol. As an employer, you are ethically and legally responsible for reporting any drug misuse on your premises. Ideally, there should be a firm policy in your company for the handling and control of drugs and alcohol, including the responsible use of prescription drugs and solvents. The blatant and constant use of drugs and alcohol can result in these noticeable symptoms in otherwise reliable employees: sudden and unexplained mood swings, constant irritability and loud vocal outbursts, clumsiness and confusion regarding simple tasks, lack of concentration and slow reactions, vision becoming suddenly impaired. If you suspect drug and alcohol abuse in your environment, a sensible screen and test policy is advised. Violence at work. It is an unfortunate part of human nature that conflict and potential violence may arise in the workplace. Whereas workplace harassment is mostly verbal and emotional, work-related violence occurs when abuse or threats slide towards physical assault or altercations. This can be exacerbated by stress, environment, or personal issues. It can also be inflicted upon staff by members of the public or criminals. As an employer, you should prevent these dangerous situations from arising. You can do this by training. Organize training sessions or workshops where employees are made aware of the danger of conflict, how to diffuse difficult situations, or report the likelihood of one occurring. Environment. Ensure that there are no blind spots or areas where staff could be threatened without fear of reprisal. Use CCTV or change corridor spaces. Routine. Don't expose staff to potential criminal acts by having them work alone or handle cash without security. Change resources if necessary. Premises. Ensure that lighting, automated security systems, CCTV, and security guards are all operating normally and that employees are always protected. Summary. In this module, we have covered the following points. Bad seating can be as harmful to an employee's well-being as any other hazard. Shift work can result in fatigue and cause serious accidents and mistakes in the workplace. Health surveillance can help treat serious conditions at an early stage and allow staff to report health concerns. Overwork can produce stress in employees and cause absence and illnesses. Employers have a duty to protect their staff from violence and harassment.